New York Knicks fans, what is going on? What better way than to come with a video today about our New York Knicks having a 51-point domination in Atlanta in Game 6. We are going to recap the entire Atlanta series and then go over the potential matchups with the Celtics or the 76ers. Drop the comment in the comment section. Who would you rather play, the Celtics or the 76ers? And I couldn't do this alone. I could not celebrate this type of 51-point blowout in Game 6 without a very good friend of mine, Eric, over at New York Minute Sports. Eric, how are we feeling about this series?
Oh, I mean, we're riding high, Mike. We're always riding high. I mean, listen, usually the Knicks are on the receiving end of a 50-point loss in the playoffs, but the New York Knicks step to the plate, and what will Brown do for you? And that's my biggest key of the New York Knicks, is the guy not getting enough credit for getting this Knicks team through this round, and that's Mike Brown. Because what I think is the heads got together for the Hawks, and they put a formula out in the first two games that the New York Knicks did not know what was hitting them. Then they went to the lab. They figured it out, and guess what? It's a simple formula. Get Cat involved early. Establish the three. Establish your dominance. As Bill Walton used to say, throw it down, big man. Somebody has to remind him and OG that they are big men who know how to play basketball. OG is always the wallflower, never says anything, dominates. Somebody's got to remind him he is a very good basketball player and to assert himself in certain situations. So, yes, I'm cool. And I said this to you last night, Mike. Now I'm primed and ready. Now I'm ready to run through sheetrock because in my New York Knicks history, it's like, let me get to the second round. I can't live through another first-round exit to the Hawks, so I will wait, and now it's game on.
It's game on, and before, I'd be remiss to not mention, if you guys love this kind of content, if you like Knicks stuff, Giant stuff, Yankee stuff over on Eric's channel at New York Minute Sports on Instagram, on YouTube, tons of Yankee stuff, post-game, pre-game, rants when they lose, celebrating when they win. Go follow him over on YouTube. And here, share, like, and subscribe to this channel because we are going to go hot and heavy in the paint, just like Mitchell Robinson, just like Cat, over this Knicks playoff run. So, and like you said, dude, going back to game one. Oh, you have something?
No, go ahead. After you.
Going back to game one, the Knicks kind of looked a little comfortable in game one, but you saw that they were starting to feel each other out. Game two, Atlanta made their adjustments, got the W at Madison Square Garden. Game three is kind of where it all fell apart. I started panicking a little bit as a Knicks fan because you saw some of those things that were biting them in the ass over the course of the regular season, the turnovers, the guys not knowing their roles. And then, dude, like you said, game four, Mike Brown made the switches on defense. He started moving Brunson away from guys like Daniels, so they were playing 5-on-4 because you saw Daniels cannot shoot a lick. I think me or you could probably hit a few threes
yes,
if we were left that wide open. And then the pressing, the full court pressing, which I absolutely loved. And then the stealing. I mean, the Knicks were just great, 4, 5, and 6. I mean,
I think it's a great mix of everything. It's a mix between the New York Knicks know how to close series out. The last 2 years of the New York Knicks, the Nova Knicks that we've seen have been going through their maturation process and have been maturing as a team. Now, teams like the Hawks are on the receiving end of that. They're like the Knicks 2 years ago. They're going to have to learn how to close out playoff games and learn how to win. And the reason I keep bringing up Mike Brown's name is because of the fact that he has a healthy Mitch Robinson and a healthy OG putting in minutes in playoff time. The New York Knicks were the MASH squad in the playoffs. They got to the finish line, and they were the walking wounded. Now he's got his horses ready, and even, I love my boy Clarkson, the change of pace guy off the bench, and this is what the New York Knicks designed their team for. That's why they went and got a bench this year, is for right now. Change of pace guys in the playoffs. The New York Knicks picked the first two games to play their worst basketball of the season. It was very similar to after they went to the Emirates Cup, the make-believe tournament in the beginning of the year, because that's who I think the New York Knicks are. They are the team that played the Spurs. But what I think it was, Mike, they were going to turn the light switch on. They went over there. They hit it in game one. And they go, oh, the lights didn't go on. They're like, okay, They thought that they could get to the playoffs and go, all right, we're in playoff mode. Let's do it. They had to lose. They had to get embarrassed. Time to get your ass up.
And dude, just a little bit about last night's game. I've heard this come from a lot of people of all ages, honestly, except for young. Not all ages. Everybody that I've spoken to, people that have watched basketball for 40, 50 years, and I completely agree. I've never watched a half of basketball as dominant as that was. It was 72-22 at one point. The Knicks were on a 42-4 run. Never seen anything like that in my life. It was like the UConn's women basketball team playing like Wagner in the tournament. That's how embarrassing it was for the Atlanta Hawks. And one thing I got a little afraid of last night, and I wasn't that mad about Mitchell Robinson getting ejected from the game, because they were up by about 45 at that point. So I'm thinking, let Mitch go back in the locker room, let him rest up a little bit. We don't really need to see Mitch the rest of this game. What I was just a little bit worried about last night was the second half Hawks knowing they're going to be down 50, and the Knicks came out great in the third, 10 straight points right away. What I was a little worried about was the Hawks kind of getting that, we got nothing to lose. Let's start getting dirty. Well, we're not worried about getting suspended the next round. They have to get worried about getting suspended next round. So the Knicks were smart enough to kind of close it out the perfect way possible yesterday.
Well, I think the New York Knicks broke the Hawks' spine in Game 5. They were like, the Hawks were like, it's like a boxing match. You got the underdog. He's got the guy on the ropes for the first 3 rounds, and he's like, holy shit, I'm actually winning. And then the guy gives him an overhand right, and he goes, okay, that's it. And that was Game 5. Then they stepped onto the court in their hometown, and the New York Knicks took care of business. That's the thing. If the New York Knicks assert themselves, they're one of the best teams in the NBA. Don't get it twisted. It's just what team's going to show up. And establishing Karl Anthony Towns is the most important key to this team. What sets the New York Knicks apart from the Nova Knicks and the Hartenstein Knicks is Karl Anthony Towns. What brought this franchise to the next step and legitimacy was Karl Anthony Towns. Now he's been on the back of a milk carton because he hasn't known his role since October, Mike. Now it seems like everyone's dropping their ego, which isn't their amigo, and now they're playing to win. And they're not thinking, they're just reacting. And Mike Brown's got him primed. They are primed. I love the fact that they can get off their feet for a couple of days, more than 2 days. Now they can watch this Game 7, Sixers and Celtics tomorrow, which is I am going to be locked and loaded for Game 7 tomorrow because it's going to be a spicy one.
Now, just get your opinion of I just want to get how you feel. Maybe we match up on the similar pathway here. Do you have a preference? Because I know sometimes people don't have a preference. They just give me who you want to give me. I want to cheer for somebody. Do you have a preference? Because Philly at full strength is relatively dangerous.
New York Minute. I have a preference about everything. The New York Knicks need to play the Celtics. Okay? Period. Stop, I think. Because what's the matchup, Mike? Mike, you even said it on this show right here. The New York Knicks designed their team to beat the Celtics. Now we don't need the missing link, Joel Embiid, coming in healthy to town, because you look at the roster on the Sixers and you go, hey, these guys are stacked. What are they doing in 8th place? Because they don't care. And we even texted last night about the regular season and the severity of the situation in the regular season that people put their feet up now.
Just like I told you last night, I've officially crossed the border with the regular season. With the 76ers, with the way the Knicks have looked over Atlanta, and especially with tonight's game in Game 6. And the expectation levels are going to be raised a lot higher if Detroit winds up getting bounced tonight by the Orlando Magic in Game 6. They have a shot to close out in Orlando. And, dude, the team, this is what I mean. The team that I've been screaming about, worried about, we played 12 quarters against the Pistons, and we couldn't beat them in any quarter. They could just be wiped off the face of the playoff picture tonight, and we wouldn't even have to play them by the 8-seed Magic.
Well, because the New York Knicks are the Possum Kings. We talked about this last year. They lost every single game to the Celtics, and then they beat them in the playoffs. Same thing against the Detroit Pistons. The question is, what's the value in it? What's the value in putting your best foot forward and going against the Pistons and showing them all your looks? Same with the Boston Celtics. The NBA has a serious problem on their hands, Mike, is that their season starts about 2 weeks ago. That's all the people care about. I was the same way. Knicks win 52 wins, watch the major games, but you can't get me watching a Knicks-Pelican game. It's against my moral fiber. I can't be doing that because you need to make up a makeup tournament in the middle of the season for people to get interest. I understand it's a European soccer kind of thing, and NBA has completely gone global. I understand that. But when you need to make a tournament in the middle of the year to get attention to your sport, there's a problem. There's an inherent problem.
So another series that, I think, are we overlooking Cleveland and Toronto a little bit with
absolutely.
what's going on?
Right over them.
Because I don't fear Cleveland or Toronto at all if they have to wind up playing the Knicks at some point.
You have our leftovers in Toronto, and then you have the Cleveland Cavaliers who really aren't jumping off the page at me. They could be a sneaky backdoor team. It wouldn't surprise me if they made it into the Eastern Conference Finals and then the New York, hey, we were supposed to beat the Pacers last year. All right? And be careful what you wish for on your question before. You're like, oh, who do you want? I could be eating crow with this statement in this video afterwards because we wanted the Pacers last year. And I didn't. With my history, with my post-traumatic stress disorder from the New York Knicks directly and Reggie Miller, okay, and Michael Jordan. And then when we finally get in there with Grandmama in 98, we got to face Tim Duncan. So lucky us. So all I've known is pain my whole life. And all I want is some joy. But the New York Knicks do not match up well against the 76ers.
Yeah, they scare me. And plus, I don't trust Joel Embiid. I think he's a complete dirtbag. He's a dirty player. You saw what he did with Mitchell Robinson 2 years ago when he, or three, whatever it was, when they pulled him down. And the Knicks went 6 with them as well. So I would like to stay away from Philly. I think we could beat Philly. Again, I think just like to be your point before, I think at the Knicks' peak, they could beat anybody and actually give the Thunder a run for their money when they're playing their absolute best. But that's the key, the consistency of playing their absolute best. And hopefully, at least Mike Brown and this coaching staff unlocked something to where game 1 Monday, whether we're going to be at Boston or at the Garden hosting Philly, we're ready to go again. And we could just steal one maybe in Boston if that's
I just want no parts of a guy like Joel Embiid who like appendix burst and his eyeball gets poked out during a game and he's still in there scoring 50 in the Garden. Remember the Hartenstein, Mitch Robinson Knicks? They had no answer to this guy. The reason that the New York Knicks have an answer to the Boston Celtics is because if the Celtics don't hit the three, they have 0 answers.
Yeah.
They lost Hartford also, and now they have no size. So if they're not hitting the threes, don't get me wrong, the Celtics, before the playoffs started, I picked the Celtics to go to the finals because it seems like last year they were the heavy favorites, and then this year they're not even supposed to be there with Tatum now healthy. It's almost like they're playing with house money, and a Boston Celtics team that has no pressure is a very scary situation for me.
Yeah, they are. So we got through the Atlanta series. We're good with that. Went through some of around the NBA. Not much really in the Western Conference, right? The Timberwolves won without like 4 of their top players, and they eliminated the Nuggets. Spurs seem like they're okay. Thunder are going to probably get to the finals. As of right now, after watching the Knicks play over the last 3 games, most likely those 3 games, did your confidence level change at all, or do you still remain
that's a sigh of relief? That's the Yankees. See, this is the thing, and I was analyzing this, is the way that I ingest sports. In the first round against the Red Sox, I just wanted it to be over, okay? I wanted this Atlanta Hawks series to be over so I could have a sigh of relief and I can start enjoying watching basketball. Because now, when I say game on, these are equally matched teams. I can't take another first-round exit to a poor team in my NBA life. I can't. Like, I couldn't see you behind a cage, yo. It's like King of New York when he says, why didn't you come to see me in jail? I couldn't see living behind a cage, man. I couldn't see Brunson lose to the Hawks, and then the sports talk goes wild with, is Brunson the guy? Is he undersized? So I'm very happy as a Knicks fan. It doesn't matter if they win by 50 for me. In fact, it's like leave some bullets in your gun for the next round. But I'm very proud of what the Knicks did. I don't think Brown's getting enough, and I still keep hearing Tibbs' name on sports talk. Can we get over it? He's gone.
One joke I heard yesterday about Tibbs was, despite being up 60 at one point, the starters probably still would have been in the game. For the fourth quarter.
He would have asked Hart to play on Brunson to piggyback him for a whole quarter. and make them do laps after the game.
No, but I mean, if they play like this, like you said, this is the year to get excited about being a Knicks fan because we said it. Pacers are out. The Celtics are a little hamstrung. So, so whatever happens, if we play Philly or Boston, do you have us beating them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I think that they can beat anybody in the Eastern Conference. The only team that's going to beat the New York Knicks are the New York Knicks. And that's it.
That's when it's scary.
If they want to be the first 2-game version of the Knicks where everybody stands around for the last 4 minutes of the game and looks at Brunson, and even the guys selling hot dogs know that the New York Knicks are going to Brunson, that's a problem. And kudos to the Hawks coach, man. Going from the Brooklyn Nets to the Hawks, I mean, all this guy does is go to reclamation projects and turn the franchise around. So I have no idea what the Nets were thinking when they let that guy out the door.
Me neither. That's why the Nets are the Nets. But they have tons of draft picks, so they have plenty of kids to scout right now in the 8th grade and the 5th grade. So they got plenty of future right ahead of them. Eric, let them know where we could find you on the, what do you call it? The Information Superhighway?
We can find Eric on the Information Superhighway, also called a Smoke Wagon. You can see my beautiful face at NEWYRKMIN on Instagram. And also check out my New York Minute Sports right here on YouTube. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to check out our Monday Yankee and Met show with Mike from Pudgy Boy Sports with a Z right here on YouTube, guys. Also, if you got some extra time, check out the New York Minute merch line. It's the New York Nuts. See, this shirt does not say New York Knicks. It says New York Nuts. So if you're nuts about the Knicks, why don't you go over to our line, right on the link on our YouTube page, and check out the New York Minute merch line. So, Mike, I am very excited about the future for the New York Knicks, and now we get to relax and watch some really good basketball, and that's what I'm excited about.
Such a good feeling to just kick back and relax, smoke a cigar, as I didn't get to do last night because it was a little drizzly out there.
Get a little grass in you, have some fun.
Eric, thank you so much for joining me today. So at this point, guys, if you haven't liked it already, please like it, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Knicks content, hot and heavy, everything you could love and desire with this New York Knicks franchise, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you on the next
one. One last thing, Mike. Good night, Canada.